Hello students, today in this video we will be solving one more sum of bills of exchange based on the treatment discounting of bill. So let us see what is the question. Question is Sohan purchased goods worth rupees 50,000 from Mohan and he paid 10,000 by check, and for the balance amount he accepted a bill drafted by Mohan for 5 months. So here you can see who is the seller of the goods, Mohan, who is the buyer of the goods, Sohan, and the entire transaction is not on credit because he is making part payment by check. He is paying 10,000 by check, and for the balance amount the bill is drawn. And what is the balance amount? 40,000. Then later on Mohan discounted the bill with the bank at 9% per annum. So here Mohan doesn't keep that bill with himself. Unlike, he is going and he is discounting this bill with bank at 9% per annum. So here we have to make the calculation of discount amount which the bank will be deducting out of the bill. Then the bill was duly honored on the maturity. That means the bill becomes honored on due date. That means Sohan makes the payment. Then draft journal entries in the books of both the parties. So here also what we have to do in the form of answer, we have to make two different journal entries. One in the books of drawer and another one in the books of drawee. And who is the drawer over here? Drawer is Mohan. And who is the drawee? Sohan. Why Sohan is drawee? Because he is accepting the bill and the bill is drawn by Mohan. So let us see what journal entries we will pass in the books of drawer, and drawer is who is drawer? Mohan. So the very first transaction was Mohan sold goods to Sohan on credit. So what is the entry for credit sales? Drawee's account debit to sales account. And who is the drawee over here? Drawee is Sohan. So entry will be Sohan's account debit to sales account. Now for the similar transaction we will be passing entry in the books of Sohan also. So that means in the books of drawee, what entry we will record? The transaction will become credit purchases. So entry will be purchases account debit to drawer's account. And who is the drawer over here? Mohan. So entry becomes purchases account debit to Mohan's account. So you can see one transaction have different entries and different books of accounts. There in the books of drawer the entry was drawee's account debit to sales, and here in the books of drawee the entry was purchases account debit to drawer's account. Now drawee makes the part payment by check. So that means Mohan is receiving certain amount by check. So we will have to pass the entry for that transaction, and the transaction is Mohan received part payment in cash from Sohan. So entry becomes bank account debit to Sohan's account. Why bank account debit? Because money comes in. And why Sohan's account credit? Because credit the given. Now since Mohan is receiving money, Sohan is paying money. So in the books of Sohan also we have to record the same transaction, and here the transaction will be Mohan's account debit to bank account. Why Mohan's account debit? Because Mohan is the receiver. And why bank account credit? Because bank means money goes out. So just recollect again, in the books of Mohan, what was the entry? Bank account debit to Sohan's account, and in the books of Sohan, what is the entry? Mohan's account debit to bank account. So again for the same transaction we have two opposite entry in the different books. After this, Sohan accepted the bill which is drawn by Mohan. So the third entry comes is for the transaction Sohan accepted the bill drafted by Mohan for 5 months. So let us see the entry bills receivable account debit to drawee's account. Who is the drawee over here? Sohan. So the entry will become bills receivable account debit to Sohan's account. Now for the same transaction, here the entry is for receiving acceptance, but in the books of drawee the entry will be for giving acceptance. So now entry will be drawer's account debit to bills payable account. Who is the drawer over here? Mohan. And Mohan's account debit to bills payable account. So here again you can see for one single transaction there are two different entries in the different books. One in the books of Mohan the entry was bills receivable account debit to Sohan's account, and in the books of Sohan the entry is Mohan's account debit to bills payable account. Now after this what happens? Mohan goes to the bank and he gets a bill discounted with his bank at 9% per annum. Now the bill amount is 40,000 only. So let us see what entry Mohan will record. Mohan will pass an entry like this: cash bank account debit, discount account debit to bills receivable account. But amount we will have to find out now. What amount of cash bank will come, what amount of discount will come, and what amount of bills receivable. This bills receivable we already know it will be 40,000. But the calculation of discount that we have to make is 40,000 into 9% into how many months? 5 months. So 5 by 12. So it is 40,000 into 9 upon 100 into 5 by 12. The amount comes to 1,500. So now out of 40,000, if bank deducts 1,500, so what is the ultimate amount that the drawer is supposed to receive is 38,500. Now for this transaction, what entry drawee will record? So do you think any entry will come in the books of drawee? No, there won't be any entry in the books of drawee. Why? Because drawee is not at all involved in the transaction. The transaction was taking place between bank and drawer. So drawer recorded the transaction, but drawee will not pass any entry for this transaction. Now on due date, who is holding that bill? Bank. Then on due date, bank will go to drawee. Bank will go to whose drawee? Sohan. And then Sohan will make the payment. So for honoring Sohan, what entry Sohan will pass? Cash bank is going out, bills payable comes in. So bills payable account debit to cash bank account. But do you think so any entry will come in the books of drawer? No, drawer will not record this transaction at all. Why? Because drawer is not involved in the transaction. The transaction is taking place between bank and drawee. Because drawee makes the payment, bank receives the payment, bank gives the bill, and drawee receives the bill. So here there is no entry in the books of drawer. In the end, you have to do the totaling of the journal, and we are done with this sum. So again, to summarize, initially we started with sale purchase, then we started with part payment. Then what we did, the entry for acceptance of bill. Then we did the entry for discounting of bill. After that, honor. But discounting of bill wala entry will come only in the books of drawer and not in the books of drawee. And honor wala entry will come only in the books of drawee, not in the books of drawer. Because the entry will be passed only in those books the parties who are involved in the transaction. And you have also seen how did we calculate the amount of discount. We multiplied the bill amount with percentage into period. So it was 40,000 into 9 upon 100 into 5 by 12. So I hope you have understood this, and if you have liked this video, you can share it with your friends and you can subscribe to our channel Target Publications. Thank you.